Okay, so, all right, I'm going to show you how to set up a presentation in ProPresenter. So, the first thing you're going to do is we're going to open up this Weekend Resources folder. This is the folder where you're going to put all of your assets for your ProPresenter presentation. So the first thing you want to do is we'll just empty the stuff from the previous week in here. And then we're going to open Dropbox. Just click on the folder icon to bring it up. And we're going to go into Campus Resources and This Weekend. So this is where you're going to find all of the things you'll need. And depending on the week, if they're still working on details, you can do some of this on Thursday. Usually the worship songs, the lyrics will be built and ready for the rehearsal on Thursday. But pretty typically on Sunday morning you'll have to go in and adjust and update your presentation and bring in other things like message notes, last minute additions, or update songs if they swap things out. So in Dropbox, in the This Weekend folder, there's a folder for the particular weekend. So this weekend is the 4th of May. So we're gonna bring these things in. Now we do have some instructions if you don't have access to this video at the moment and you just need to see how to do this again. There is a text file that has all the instructions of how to bring this into your ProPresenter presentation, so you can follow these step by step. I'm just going to show you the process so that you know what a typical presentation build looks like. So we're going to take these, we've got our announcement assets, message assets, and worship assets. We're going to right click on these and copy. You can do this by pressing Command C as well. So we're going to copy these to our local storage in our Weekend Resources folder. So we're going to let those copy. So the idea is you don't want to open up these inside of Dropbox, because whatever is inside of the Dropbox folder is synced across the account, and so we don't want to mess anything up in this. And as you notice, these are locked, so you won't be able to move these around, but you can copy them to your computer, which is what we've just done. Now that we've copied these, we're going to click Open. So I just highlighted these, right click and Open, and these will start uncompressing into folders that we'll be able to open. Once these have been uncompressed, we're going to take the zipped files, we're just going to move those out of the way, and we'll just click Continue. Okay, so now we have 3 folders which have everything we need to build our presentation. So I'm going to go to Announcements first. Our pre-service assets, just go to the first folder in folder 1, and this right here is what you want, this ProPresenter file. Again, we have text instructions for if you don't have a video or if somebody hasn't shown you. You can do all of this stuff by following step by step. You may have an item here or there that you're like, oh, how do I do that? You may have to dig around a bit. But again, just for the sake of seeing the process visually, that's why we're going through this video. So, announcement assets, pre-service assets, and this slide presentation, we're going to double click on that and it will open in ProPresenter. It's going to import that, and quite often in the announcement slide deck you will have slides that get reused. And so once ProPresenter is done importing this presentation, it will ask you if you want to overwrite things. So just give it a second. And what we're going to do is we're going to click Apply to All. And what it's saying is you have the same file in your library already, and do you want to replace it? We're going to click Right Over, because we always want to take the newest version, which would be sent through Dropbox. So we want to always update to the newest version possible of the file. So we're going to go right over after checking Apply to All, and it will, we may have to click this again for different file types. Click right over, And so now you'll see we have the pre-service slides. This slide deck that's pre-built is imported into our library. So we are going to drag this down into our playlist. And if you notice, we have our playlist right here, weekend video message. This is where we're gonna bring this into our presentation. Just drag and drop, and then we'll take the one from the previous week. We'll just click remove from playlist. Now this same slide deck is used at the very end of our presentation as well for the walk out. So we're gonna just drag this down in here, remove the old one, remove from playlist, and now we have our pre-service slide presentation imported into our ProPresenter. And as you see, we have the typical Start on Me slide, which you click to start the slide loop, and then you can click Clear Loop to stop the looping slides. All right, now we're going to go back to Finder. I'll just hide ProPresenter real quick. So we're going to go back to Finder. We're going to go to the Message Assets, and we're going to go here to Message Note Assets. And here at San Bernardino, we use the full screen message notes, and these typically don't get used on screen, but we import them as a backup. So we're going to just wait for this to export. It's writing it into our library. We're going to click Apply to All, so we bring the newest version possible in here. So it's asking if we already have this picture in our library. We want to write that over. And so now we have the message, a series called You for May 4 and 5. So this message is not going to go in this message section, but here down in extras. So the reason why is currently we are running a program line cut from the campus where they record the sermons, and that program has the graphics and the sermon notes embedded in the video. So we don't need these, but if there was something that was going to happen, for instance, if we used our failsafe and moved over to our video card, you would need to run these as the sermon video plays. And so in that case, you would need these as a backup. So this is going to go not in message, but down here in extras. So we've got one more thing to do. We're going to hide ProPresenter one more time. We're going to go to our worship assets. Again, we're doing full screen worship lyrics. We're going to go full screen 2 because that is our preferred style. We're going to highlight all of these, right click, and click Open. So ProPresenter is asking if we want to import these into our library. We're going to click OK. And we're going to click OK. Again, we have a song we want to apply and write over because we want the newest version, which may in fact be updated for this specific week. So always click write over so we bring in the newest version. Hit OK and write over. Hit OK, write over. Hit OK and write over. So now we have our songs. We're going to go to our first set. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just keep this so we have How Great Thou Art, Oh God, Resurrecting, there's a name, Wonder. So I know that Wonder, and this is based on, let's see if I have it up here. In Planning Center, I'm going to take a quick look at the plan for this weekend. So as you can see, Wonder is our first song. So we're going to go and take Wonder and bring this into the first set. I'm going to take these out of our playlist since these are the old songs from last week. Okay, so we've got Wonder. What do we have next? How Great Thou Art. So since it's not up, I'm going to type in How Great Thou Art, and here it is. Full screen 2. We're going to drag that underneath our first song. Okay, and then we've got Oh God is next. Oh God. And we'll drag that in. So that's our first set. And we still have 2 songs left. Let's see, we have Resurrecting and There's a Name. So we're going to go type in Resurrecting. Here's full screen 2. We're going to put this in the second set here. And let's see, Resurrecting and There's a Name. So click this X. That just clears everything. There's a name. Here it is. Full screen 2. And it's also nice to check. As you can see, this is 5/3/18. So that means it's very current. You can double check. So as you can see, this one is not formatted correctly. This is the full screen 1 preset. And this is an older version. So it's just nice to kind of check the date and make sure the version that you're grabbing is the correct one. So I'm going to put that after the call to offering. We're going to take this out. So now we have our second set set up. If you look at our rundown, this is an atypical week, so we have an extra element here after the message. We've got a communion. So we have the song that happens before the offering call, and then there's a name. So these elements, which are here, the call to offering, the call to action, the welcome, all of these things are things that happen every week, so most likely you won't have pulled them out. But just so that you know, you'll kind of take a look here, and if you need to bring these up, you can search for them in here. Go 1, and then you'll see call to offering, video message, call to action, all of these things, pre-service welcome. These are things that we use for the weekend, so you can drag those back in if somehow they get pulled out of your presentation. So now that we have everything built and in the correct order, we're going to need to change a couple of things. So our slides are usually built at our campus where they design all the graphics. So if you look here, each one of these has a little file name, and we have TW_EV. Now these ones after the underscore stand for the campus. So we have East Valley, Moreno Valley, Palm Avenue, and San Bernardino as our campus. So this is the one that we're going to keep. All of these are announcements pertinent to our campus. The rest of them, we will just right click and click disable. Or if you want, you can click and drag to highlight them and right click and disable. So now we only have the slide that is appropriate for our campus. Now you always want to check this weekend's slides. Just make sure that there isn't anything that is not for our campus. And so then we're going to go to our worship set. So if you look, when you first bring in the songs, you're going to have verse 1, verse 2, chorus, chorus 1, chorus 2, chorus 3. That's not the order you want to sing the song in. Now, if you know anything about running this position, you should have been made familiar with our arrangement editor. This is something that you will use when you create and build your presentation. So this little tree icon, if you click on this, this brings up your arrangement editor, and what this does is it shows you all of the elements in the song, and you can build a song arrangement for that particular week. Usually this is done and set for you ahead of time, and so if you click this little gear button, it'll show you your arrangements, and you'll select the date for that particular weekend. So this should set up your song in the correct order for that weekend, unless there are minor changes depending on what your band is going to do. To change the order of these slides, so for instance, if they decide they were going to skip a verse, these little tokens in blue here are the ones that are in your presentation. So you can get rid of things. You can bring them in from the master arranger. So all of these are all of the elements existing in the song. So if they wanted to do the chorus like 4 times, you could bring the chorus in, and there you go. So that is a quick breakdown of the arrangement tree. That is something that you will use pretty frequently, and you just want to go through, make sure that all of your songs are set to the correct week date. So when you go through the rehearsal, you should be paying attention to whether or not the lyrics are matching what your band is doing. And typically, in a usual week, you'll find that they are pretty close, and you may have to make minor adjustments or changes. It's a good idea if you notice a change, try to change it as you see it, and then as you go through it, if you have any questions about them, then talk to your production leader and see if they can snag the worship lead for that weekend to come and verify the lyrics for you. So now that we've set up our arrangements, we now need to pick a background for the lyrics. So down here in our image bin, I'm going to twirl this down, this Pro 1 folder, and then we're going to go to Worship Backgrounds, twirl this down, and then we're clicking on Motion Graphics. So here are our motion graphics. Now, this is something you'll want to try to do on Thursday evenings during rehearsal. Coordinate with lighting, because lighting and presentation should be visually similar. So we're going to just drag in some backgrounds here. So I'm going to go with this glitter theme. So we're going to start with a kind of a blue theme here, and as you click the lyrics on, you can see we've got just this slow-moving glittery effect in the background. And then in our next song, we'll change the mood a little bit. We'll go to, I think we have some other glitter themes in here. I want to try and keep the visual theme relatively similar. So I'm going to take this this gold one. There we go. So now How Great Thou Art has a little bit of a different look. And generally my preference is to make sure that the backgrounds look somewhat dissimilar so that you're having a definitive change in between each one. Now that's subjective. That's just a starting place. If you have a good sense of style, you may want to coordinate with lighting, and you may decide to gradually change the look over the service. That's something that you can be intentional about. But right now, a good place to start is try to pick something where it looks different for each song. So going from orange to this aqua color. And then at the end, at this set, we're going to go, we'll try one of these pink ones. So we'll see this pink glitter. And then going to the next one, maybe we'll go with a green. So going from this song to this one, it's a pretty different look. So now we have all of our items set up for presentation, and you should be able to start your run through. Going to the top for your walk-in, click Start on Me, and you should be ready to go.